Hi guys, Tim back here again to show you the progress on this Mopar 400 engine. And you can see I've got all my power steering pump, AC, alternator all on the engine right now. The reason I've been working on this is number one, I had to buy a special alternator bracket and I needed to find out what size belts these needed to be. So much easier to do it this way. And the main thing is getting all of this planar belts working. With the rebuilt power steering pump, I needed to mount that too so that I could make sure that when I pushed this pulley on by putting a nut and a big washer, drawing it in, and I took a straight edge and made sure that it was planar with this pulley as well. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to install the brand new studs, and I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to take these special studs, fine thread versus coarse thread, and we're going to insert them in here. But when we do that, we need to add a high temp Permatex sealant for the threads. And the reason for that is because behind these holes, as you can see, that's a freeze plug, there's a water jacket there. And we need to be able to seal that up. So you take this Permatex and you just put just a little bit on the threads. You don't need much. And you run it all in there like so. And then you take a couple of your nuts, and instead of having to use a pair of vice grips or something that'll score this up, you just run these two nuts in here like so. And what you do is you take two wrenches and you lock them together so they stay together, and then you can then run these in here and tighten it up. So that's a little trick that my dad taught me. But when we're all done, we're going to have something that looks like this. I'm going to take you over here and zoom out. And it'll look something like that. You can see I'm ready to put the exhaust manifold on. And so the other thing I've done recently is I dropped the transmission out, and I'm going to mount it on an engine jack as well. You can see I've got that bolted up there. It's going to go onto this engine jack here, and that's going to allow me to clean it up. And I'm going to do a transmission service outside the car. And when we're all done, and it's all painted up, I'm going to mount it back onto this guy. And we're going to stab the engine and transmission all at once into this charger. So stay tuned.